Tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Good afternoon, dear friends in Dhamma.
Good afternoon.
I hope you are enjoying so far with all the activities. Today in the morning, you got opportunity to talk about metta, loving friendliness or loving kindness. As a continuation of that topic, mainly we are focusing compassion or karuna. No one can talk about all these qualities individually. Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekha. These qualities are gaining together as well as losing together. So then, better to keep in our mind what are the ways that we are losing these qualities. Somehow you have some idea, thoughts about metta, loving friendliness, compassion, sympathy, joy, and equanimity. To have a clear idea about these things, better to know what are the barriers for this. Why we are not able to gain these qualities with us. As we know, we all are practicing teachings of the Buddha, as well as we like to apply other scholars' ideas, philosophers' ideas. There is a reason for that. We are looking something. What we are looking, we all are looking one thing. That is our happiness. It doesn't matter humans or non-humans. All are looking happiness. There are so many explanations to gain our happiness. It's like most of all these explanations, we can divide it into two categories. The Buddha already divided all the teachings that which was existed before the Buddha into two categories. Those views, explanations. We can categorize into different ways: religious explanations and philosophical explanations. Religious explanations are depending on what? Faith. Depending on faith. Philosophical explanations are completely depending on logic as well as fantasy concepts. Philosophers can talk about one thing, hours and hours. At the end, if we check with that philosopher whether he achieved that, he doesn't achieve anything. He does explain. I have wonderful experience, not about philosopher, but this is very common things. One day I was with Banteji in his primary care doctor 2 years ago. So that primary care doctor did blood works and everything, and he did check Banteji's heart, blood pressure and everything. And he said, oh, that's good, it's marvelous, everything going well. There's no need to change anything. Something like that. There was a conversation. And then he started to ask, how about your diet? So normal, there's no changes. And he knew, so he's vegetarian, or yes, okay. And how about exercise? Still you are working? Yes, still I'm working. In the morning and afternoon, 2 hours, I do. Yeah, then he started to explain, yes, that's the best thing. I don't want to give any advice for you because you are controlling your diet and you do exercise. What else? That's it. So therefore, you are perfect. You just, I have to say, you continue it. Then he was giving so many explanations regarding blood circulations and food digestion systems, everything. And then somehow later on, Banteji turned to him and asked, Doctor, by the way, how many minutes do you walk? And he was very quiet 1 minute and then later, you know, my life is very busy. I do only thing when I going back to home, I do some gardening. That's the only thing. So then Pandit said, no, that's not enough. You have to walk at least 45 minutes per day. Not running to other side. If someone who has that practical experience, they're different than the philosopher. Philosopher can explain the benefits. The doctors also like philosopher. They can explain, but there's nothing gain in their self. We have this kind of situation with philosophical ideas. Religious ideas, depending on faith, the teachings of the Buddha is not belongs to any of these. It's not a religious idea. It's not a philosophical idea. It is not utopian. It is not just fantasy. It is completely practical application. The Buddha himself applied. He came to that state. He experienced himself everything. And then he started to explain to others. There's a particular sutta delivered by the Buddha, Akusala Pahana Sutta. In that sutta, Buddha explained, if it is impossible, I'm not asking to do it for you. It is possible. If it is not supportive for your goal to achieve, I'm not asking to do it. It means really the Buddha already experienced himself. He applied the method and he enjoyed through that experiences, and then he asked us to. Okay, if we are willing to be happy, if you want to enjoy this life, you can apply these things. These are the ways. So therefore, in this very life, we are looking one thing, that is our happiness. Without developing these qualities, there's no way to be happy. If you don't have loving kindness, metta, you can't be happy. If you don't have compassion, karuna, you can't be happy. If you don't have mudita, you can't be happy. If you don't have equanimity, upekka, you can't be happy. So therefore, these qualities are the qualities that we're supposed to develop to achieve our main goal. To achieve our main goal. These are not related to philosophical idea. These are not religious idea. These are exactly very practical, sincere applications for our day-to-day life. That's why the teachings of the Buddha became way of life. It is not a religion, it's not a philosophy, it's a way of life. Whoever able to apply these applications into their life, they can see the results. Nobody want to be there to explain the results. So in here, what we are doing, we all are in same boat and trying to understand these concepts. And also we are trying to get clear path how we can apply this application. So karuna, compassion, or metta, loving-kindness, these are the qualities that someone can see, someone can understand living with them, living with them. So what is, basically you are able to understand what is metta, what is karuna, compassion. In Pali commentaries, as well as in Pali canon, there are a lot of explanations about all these words. Mainly in Pali commentaries, you can see there's explanations about karuna. Paradukke sati hadekampanam karoti iti karuna. Paradukke sati hadekampanam karoti iti karuna. Seeing discomforts or suffering someone, paying attention to help and get rid of their suffering, that is karma. That is karma. So metta is something that you can develop yourself. Karuna is the real action. You are pulled with loving kindness thoughts. Now you are ready to get into the ground to do something. That is compassion. That is compassion. So loving kindness always connected with your thoughts. But karuna, there should be a real action. Paradukke sati hadekampanam karoti iti karuna. There's two words, as you know, sympathy and empathy. Sympathy and empathy. In modern world, we use these two words. Sympathy, seeing someone's sorrowful situation, that person also ready to join with that person, just crying. Oh yes, what happened? I'm so sorry. That's it. No action. Empathy, yes, really you wanted to do something. You want to help to get rid of that person in trouble, who is in trouble. So that is empathy. So karma is there. So therefore, to explain compassion, better word is empathy. But these words are not coming with that original teachings. We are borrowing these words from this modern society. For now, we can keep that word, empathy. To explain empathy, they have a simile. Someone was walking in the jungle and there's a canal. Somebody fall into canal. The person who is walking through this area, he was able to see that person. And then seeing that person who met the guy who is in that canal, wanted to help him, and then he had to go there to find some supportive materials. So going here and there, finding some materials to help that person, then he was able to get something. Then using all the materials and his experience, his knowledge, he's making effort to help that person to come out from that canal. That is compassion. It's explained in some books in modern psychology books to explain what is empathy means. So there is something that we can get through that explanations to explain karuna, compassion. Compassion also like that. We have to do something. We have to do something. Buddha's life story, it's explained every day morning, the Buddha had a habit to see the world with great compassion. To see the world with great compassion. the Buddha did not see the world with great loving prejudice. The Buddha see the world with great compassion. Maha Karuna Samapatti. That's the word that you can hear, you can see through the textbook, Pali textbook. Maha Karuna Samapatti means great compassion. Every day morning, people start his daily routines. What does it mean? Looking around the world, if there is necessary situations where we can help, so then Buddha ready to approach to that place and to help that person. To help that person. There are some incidents. There was a young guy named Matta Kundali. Matta Kundali. Matta Kundali, born in a rich family, but his father was stingy. He was a miser. So then he don't want to spend any penny for any reason. Somehow this young fellow got sick. The father did not want to spend his money to treat this young fellow, Matta Kundali. So his sicknesses became very bad. Now he's on the bed, he's on dining bed now. He's on the way, he's dying now. At that day, particular day morning, the Buddha was in compassion, looking around the world. Then the Buddha met this Mattakodali young fellow was suffering, he is ready to die. While he was living, he was not able to engage with any kind of wholesome activities because his father did not allow. Now, with compassionate mind, Buddha appeared in front of him and help that young fellow to be happy even at last moment of his life. As a result of his happiness in his last moment, he was able to get higher realms born after his death. That is one thing. And also, there was another incident, as you sometimes perhaps you might heard about the name of that person, Angulimala. Angulimala. Angulimala was a very innocent fellow, but unfortunately, because of his friends and teacher, he became murdered. He was killing 999 people, human beings. Then he was aiming to kill even his mom at the last moment. Somehow, at that particular day in the morning, Buddha was looking around the world with compassionate, great compassion. Buddha met Angulimala. The Buddha knew this is a skillful person. Just in case, if he killed his mother, he never able to attain enlightenment. But this is a skillful person. So seeing this reality with compassionate mind, Buddha went to meet Angulimala, and then Buddha met him, and how Buddha was able to prevent from that mortal karma, very dangerous, very harmful, very powerful, unwholesome karma. If he was trying to kill his mom. So then, as a result of that compassionate action, Angulimala was able to attain enlightenment after listening to the Buddha. So then he became one of great disciples of the Buddha. He is Angulimala. So that you can see compassionate action of the Buddha. This is compassion. Compassion, you can see the process and the results. There should be an action with the compassion. But there are sometimes you have some kind of compassionate thoughts, but there's nothing to do for you. Nothing to do for you. Because the situation is inevitable. Situation is inevitable. That's why some people asking, about Venerable Devadatta. Venerable Devadatta was a monk in this dispensation. Not only that, he was a cousin of the Buddha. They both live in same palace. They both live in the same temple after Devadatta's ordination. But the Buddha was not able to do anything with compassionate thoughts to help Devadatta. Why? The Buddha explained about that situation also. The Buddha said, Devadatta doesn't have any positive energy, any positive thoughts in his mind. He was completely 100% corrupted. That's why the Buddha was not able to help him with compassion. That's why after his death, he directly born in low-level realm. He was not able to attain enlightenment. He did not get any chance to develop his mind, attain Sotapanna or attain Sakadagami, Anagami, or any stages. He did not get chance. Why? Because he did not have any positive energy in his practice or in his life. That's why Buddha was not able to help him. So now you can see, even though you are full of compassion, sometimes there are opportunities, but you can't do nothing there. Why? That person should have some positive. If that person doesn't have positive, you have compassion, there would be not good results. They would be not able to achieve the final goal there. So therefore, compassion always working with your good heart as well as that person, the victims should have some kind of positive energy. If there is no any positive energy with that person, then your effort become useless. You can't do nothing there. That's why it's happening around the world. There are people who are able to see good, and there are people who are ready to help to do good and to be good. But it's not easy. It's not happening. You can't see the results. That's why even during the Buddha's time, there were millions, billions of people. But how many of them were able to attain enlightenment? Very few. Very few. Even today in this world, as we know, 6.2 billion human beings are here in this world. But 6.6 billion people believe the Buddha as a religious leader. Never they can get any results from the Buddha believing as a religious leader. Therefore, they try to apply the teachings of the Buddha. Oh, no, those are religious. They are afraid around the world. Now in this world, people are suffering. Even though they can get clear ideas and explanations, good advice through the Buddha's teaching, but they are afraid to take that advices through the Buddha's teachings because, oh, those are religious concepts. Even India, in this country, other countries also same. So, therefore, to get the results, yes, of course, we have compassion. Also, other person also should have some kind of positive energy, positive thoughts. If they don't have, there is no compassionate action and the results. This is very important. We can see these things through the Buddha. There were people who were full of positive energy. Right away, they were able to realize the teachings of the Buddha. One incident, Nigantanatha Putta, Jain leader, he wanted to send one of his disciples to argue with the Buddha, And then he was willing to defeat Buddha using his disciple. We got another Buddha. Somehow, his disciple named Abhiraja means he's also one of prince. He invited the Buddha to his house for lunch dana. After finished lunch dana, then he sat in front of the Buddha to ask question, who is Abhiraja, because he was a Jain disciple, main Jain disciple. Now he was following the guidance of Mahavira, or Jain leader. He wanted to defeat Buddha. Then he started to ask question, what do you think, the Buddha, Venerable Sir, are you using harsh word? Therefore, because Nigatanatha Buddha was training him, there would be two answers, yes or no. If he said yes, then you have to ask another question, what about this Mahacompassion? Everybody says you are great compassion person. So then what about your great compassion if you are using harsh word? If that moment, if the Buddha said no, then he can ask another question, what about the Devadatta? So this was the training that he had. Having this training, Abhiraja was there in front of the Buddha, asked this question, are you using any harsh word? Then what was the Buddha's answer? Buddha said, I'm not able to answer these questions directly. I can't say yes or no. That was the answer of the Buddha. Why? Then Buddha started to explain. Somehow, the listener, we don't know what kind of mentality would be there with the listener. Listener can get that words, oh, he's living with angry, this is one of angry moments for him. That's why he is using this word. But the Buddha had used all the time words, benefits for others. Benefits for others. The Buddha did not use any words to do any harmful thing for any living beings. So therefore, the Buddha explained, there are some situations. There's a simile, very wonderful simile. King, just think about, now you have your baby with you. Your baby is with you now. Just in case, while you are talking to me, if baby crawling down and taking some piece of woods and put into his mouth, what are you going to do? Oh, right away, I'm ready to take him and ready to put my finger into his mouth, and I'm trying to take it out. So why you are doing so? Because I love my son. I want to protect him. I don't like to see any dangerous things there. I don't want to. I don't want to see any unhappy scenes there. So therefore, right away, I'm ready to do this. Okay. When you are putting your finger into his mouth, is it happy things for him? Is it comfortable for him? No, he might get hurt. Yes, of course. Same way, Abhiraja, I'm also working with my students, my followers, with great compassion. If there is something happening which not supposed to do, I'm ready to protect them. I want to prevent them from that danger. So therefore, same as you as a father, you ready to even disturb your son to protect him. I'm also same as that fatherhood quality, using that fatherhood quality, being in that state, I'm ready to prevent my students and followers from bad. That's why I use word to explain Devadatta, Mogapurisa. Mogapurisa, that's the word that Buddha used. Mogapurisa means foolish man. Foolish man. Exactly, Devadatta was foolish. That's the reality. The Buddha did not want to hurt him. The Buddha wanted to correct him. But unfortunately, Devadatta was not able to change his behavior of his parent. So now you can see, when you want to prevent someone that you love very much, sometimes the medium would be kind of harmful, kind of look like very harmful and dangerous. But you have very clear thoughts there. This is compassion. This is compassion. Doctors do some surgeries. Doctors are doing some different kind of treatment for their patients with compassion. But when they are giving you IV, is it very comfortable things for you? When they are giving shot, it's very smooth. You like it? You don't like it. But they have intention. What is that intention? To help you, to protect you, to cure you. So that is compassion. So therefore, compassionate action might be difficult, but we have to always think about their thoughts. What kind of thoughts would be there with that person? There was an incident, not the incident, it's a story regarding the Bodhisattva. Our Bodhisattva, Sakyamuni Gautama, in his previous life, born as a uh, rich man in the area named Jyotipala. He had a friend named Ghatikara. Ghatikara, he's coming from low class. Jyotipala coming from, he born into high class. But they were very good friends, very good Dhamma friends. During the Dipankara Buddha's time, this happened, this story. So Dipankara Buddha was visiting their city where they were dwelling. Ghatikara and Jyotipala, they both were very friends, they're very close friends, and they were having discussions to go to see the Buddha, Dipankara Buddha. Jyotipala, he was postponing all the time. No, not this time. Let's go another day. The first time he refused and postponed it. Second day also, Ghatikara went to Jyotipala and suggested, let's go to see the Buddha today. No. I'm very busy. I have so many things to do. Therefore, let's go another day. Then, third time, Ghatikara went to see Jyotipala and suggested, let's go see the Buddha. Even third day, Jyotipala was not ready to go to see the Buddha. But his friend, Ghatikara, he was a very compassionate person. And then he said, no, today, you have to come with me to go to see the Buddha. By post, in the book, the story says, holding his neck, his friend Ghatikara was pushing him to go to see the Buddha. Now he is carrying. And then somehow at the entrance of the temple, he was pushing him towards the Buddha. They met the Buddha. in front of the Buddha, Gatikara, Jyotipala's friend, was explaining, Venerable Sir, this is my friend Jyotipala. He's a very good friend of me. We are Dhamma brothers. We are very happy to practice. I mean, we are practicing Dhamma, but unfortunately, my friend, he was refusing to come to see you. That's why today I took him by force. Then, looking at that guy, Jyotipala, the Buddha Dipankara Buddha said, "Oh, this guy is not uh, um, common general person. He's a unique, very special person. He would be a Buddha few years, I mean millions years later, as a Sakyamuni Gautama. His name would be Sakyamuni Gautama. He was a Bodhisattva. See, Gatikara was very compassionate, but his action was not happy, peaceful, comfortable. His action was kind of hard, difficult, painful, because he was taking him to see the Buddha by force. But that Buddha was explaining this guy would be a Buddha in future. All these positive energy came out because of that compassionate action. Compassionate action. So therefore, we always we have to keep in our mind motive, means, and end. These three things are very important to see our compassionate actions. Mind is very important. Yes, mind always should connect with compassionate thoughts. But media would be difficult, media would be painful, but it doesn't matter. At the end, you can see the results, positive results, full of joy result. So therefore, compassionate thoughts are very important, but through the compassionate thoughts, the process would be painful. Even though you have compassionate thoughts, but process, the activities should be painful. That's why sitting in meditation hall few hours, it is not easy, it's difficult, but we have to do it. So we are organizing these retreats with compassionate thoughts. Okay? Don't be upset. Otherwise, it's not ending. In the morning, we have to wake up and come and sit in here meditation hall. Not only that, right after breakfast, again we have to come. Right after lunch, again we have to come. It's continuously happening. So keep in your mind, it is like Jyotipala and Gatikara's story. We are doing these things by force to help you with compassionate thoughts. So compassion is here. Compassion is here. So now you can see what is compassion. It is a thought. What kind of thought is compassion? Compassion is the heartfelt desire to elevate suffering and promote well-being in others, rooted in understanding and empathy for their experiences. That is compassion. And also relieve suffering and give joy. That is compassion. Relieve suffering and give joy. That is compassion. So we practice teachings of the Buddha to be this kind of compassionate person. To be this kind of compassionate person. Why? When you're able to develop your compassion, loving kindness, sympathetic joy, equanimity, all these qualities, there are a lot of benefits in this very life. A lot of benefits. Metta Sutta, there's a sutta which explain the benefits of metta. Metta, it has used the word just metta, but inbuilt compassion, sympathy, joy, and equanimity, all these qualities. So, person who develop these qualities, that person can have these benefits, 11 benefits, according to the Metta and Sansa Sutta. Sukha Supati, that person can sleep well. Sukham Patibhujjati, in the morning, they can wake up and there will be fresh wake up. The Tapakal is very important. You don't have any nightmares, bad dreams. The Tapakal Manusana, you are becoming attractive among human beings. Amanusa, not only even human beings, even non-humans, you become very attractive. In Metta and Sansa Sutta, all these are explaining. Not only that, Tuatan Chittan Samadhi, always you can be happy and you can continue your concentrate mind. You can continue your concentration. And Mukhavano Vipasidati, your face glorying. Your face is glorying. You don't have unhappy, negative face. You have positive, full of energy face all the time. Seeing others, they like to see again and again your face with these qualities. Don't look at me. I don't have those qualities. So these are the benefits. Not only that, living in this society, just think about ourselves. We had difficulties few years ago because of COVID. Millions of people died, but we were able to survive. There were some other situations in the world, disasters, natural disasters, and disasters done by the human beings. But we were able to protect ourselves. We are still living. Still living. It's a surprise. It's not something. These are the benefits of our wholesomeness. Wholesomeness means because of these qualities. We are protecting somehow with these poison, natural disasters and other disasters. We are protecting ourselves. How? There are people who lived with us, they already died, but we are able to live. There should be a reason. The reason is the positive energy that we accumulated. It does not mean people who died, they did not have any positive. There were, but that positive energy was not enough to survive at that moment with the challenges. That might be the reason. So therefore, living is kind of very difficult surprise in our very life, in this very life. Living. Because so many barriers in our life. There are so many boundaries and limits. There are so many reasons to die. To be alive, very limited, very limited reasons. That is very important thing is the positive energy that we already accumulated. So that all these are explained in Metta and Sansa Sutta. That's why you are not affecting poison, fire, all these explanations are there. I mean, not 100%, but we have to think about, yes, of course. That's why we are able to survive. So many things are happening, but still we are alive. There should be a reason. Reason is there. Not only that, even practicing and developing these qualities, yes, of course, we are controlling our hindrances, by hindrances. That's why we can be happy. Still we are happy. How we gain our happiness? Because we are controlling our hindrances, five hindrances. As you know, there are five hindrances: kama, chanda, sensual desire, and ill will, and sloth and torpor, restlessness and doubt. All these hindrances are blocking our happiness. We can't be happy if we are living with these hindrances. And tendencies, ashravam, all these mental defilements are blocking, disturbing our happiness. So, through these qualities, loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity, what we are doing, we are controlling all these defilements. We are controlling all these defilements. As a result of this control, we can be happy. We are maintaining our happiness. If you are not happy, then your life would be miserable. Your stress going up. Unhappy stages means your stress going up. What you can do, stressful life, you can do nothing. When you are not able to manage your stress, then you can be depressed. That's the result. So therefore, developing these qualities, loving friendliness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity, we can purify our mind from defilements. Purifying our mind, we can gain our happiness. Gain in our happiness, we can live a happy life without stress, without anxiety, without depression. These are the real benefits of this very life. These are the benefits of this very life. So I don't want to talk about benefits of stressless life. When you are able to live without any stress, anxiety, depression, I don't want to talk about these benefits because you are experiencing benefits. So now what we have to do, we have to be attached to that benefits. We have to develop our energy and effort. There are four qualities. Chandan janeti, Vayamanti, Viryanarabhati. Chandan janeti, we have to develop our attachment to these wholesome thoughts, compassion, sympathy, joy, equanimity, and loving kindness. We have to develop. Seeing these results, what we have to do, we have to develop our attachment. We have to bonding these qualities with these qualities. Why? Not only that, then we have to develop our effort to gain these qualities and maintain and continue these qualities. Gain and continue. Vayamati. Chandanjaneti Vayamati. Arabhati. And then you have to start some activities regarding your qualities. So these qualities are very important in this life. These are directly connected with the Sapta Bhujanga, 7 factors of enlightenment. 7 factors of enlightenment, or 37 factors of enlightenment. These are directly connected. This is the ground root level, but through these qualities, yes, you can connect with these 37 factors. Who are willing to attain Nibbana or end suffering, they have to have these qualities. If they don't have these qualities, it is impossible to attain enlightenment. So therefore, loving kindness, compassion, sympathy, joy, equanimity means not just human qualities, not just qualities to be happy in this moment. These are the qualities that you can get support to attain enlightenment. to end suffering, to end suffering. So therefore, in this mundane life, yes, of course, we need these qualities to have a comfortable life in this mundane world, but we have goal. We have goal to achieve, to end suffering, to achieve Nibbana. So through these qualities, yes, of course, you can develop your mind, develop in your mind. Yes, at the end, you can see the things as they are through the wisdom. You can see things as they are through the wisdom. So wisdom is the resource. Person who achieve wisdom, there's another resource. You can establish these qualities. You can continue these qualities without change. And particularly today's topic is compassion. In this moment, we are talking about compassion. To gain compassion, same activities that you can use. Practice generosity, observe precepts, and practice meditation. All these activities are the activities that you can apply to gain your these qualities, even the compassion. Particularly, according to Noble Eightfold Path, right intention, the second steps, right intention, Samma Sankappa, directly connect with compassion. Right intention, we can divide it into three groups. Nekama Sankappa, Avyapada Sankappa, Avihimsa Sankappa. Nekama Sankappa, abandoning, letting go. And Avihimsa Sankappa, non-violence, thoughts. Avyapada, non-cruelty. Non-cruelty. So abandoning, that is generousness, or directly connecting with metta. Metta. But to become an action, you connect in with compassion. You're connected with compassion. For example, Dhamma Dana, giving knowledge, sharing knowledge and experience. That is Dhamma Dana. The Buddha spent 22 hours per day to share his knowledge and experience with others. It is unusual. Normally, a person can't do this. 22 hours per day, the Buddha spent benefits for others. That's why Buddha was able to deliver 84,000 sermons during that 45 years period. 84,000 sermons during 45 years period because of his compassion. He was not ego. He eliminated that his egoistic thoughts. He did not think about his personal comfort anytime. That is his compassion as well as his loving friendliness thoughts. So with that compassionate thoughts, Buddha was traveling here and there. Here and there. Buddha's traveling, explaining into two ways, Turita Charika and Aturita Charika. Sometimes directly approaching to the place and the time, sometimes indirectly going around with other things, other places. It's completely depending on the person and the time. What kind of journey would be there? Turita or Aturita, direct or indirect, go around. So Buddha was continuing this pattern in his whole life because of his compassion. because of his sympathy, joy, equanimity, and his loving kindness. But in here, Samma Sankappa, right intention, abandoning the first concept is abandoning, letting go. We are not, the person who is trying to develop compassion is not concerning about himself, is ready to destroy his egoistic thoughts. He's not focusing on me, mine, myself. He's ready to share everything without hiding anything. There's compassion. And also, second quality, non-violence, ahimsa. There are people who are trying to increase our anger. But as a person who's always connecting with right intention thoughts, ready to develop their non-violent concept because of compassion. For example, think about the doctor who is in the hospital while meeting the patient. There are so many difficulties. Sometimes some patients use some harsh word to the doctors, nurses. But doctors and nurses, I don't think they are taking these words or actions of the patients to gain to be upset or to develop their unwholesome thoughts. No, they are not. They maintain their non-violence thoughts there. It's happening because of compassion and equanimity. Compassion and equanimity. Non-violence behavior. And non-cruelty behavior. Non-cruelty behavior, which is very important. Sometimes some people are coming us and threatening us, doing some harmful things to us, even though we are preventing and we are protecting ourselves, we don't want to counterattack them. That is non-cruelty. We are preventing, that is something else, but we don't want to hurt them. We try to protect ourselves, but we are not hurting them. It's happening. Even the police officers, most of the police officers are same. Sometimes they are working with some nasty people, but they are trying to protect themselves, even sometimes using their weapons, but they don't have cruel thoughts to kill. No, I'm going to kill you. No, you hurt me, so I want to revenge. No, they don't have that kind of thoughts. That is compassion. Okay, so you can gain these qualities: compassion, loving kindness, sympathy, joy, equanimity. All these qualities applying Dana, Sila, Bhavana. Practicing generosity, observing precepts, or developing your discipline, or morality, and meditation. These are the three activities. So, through these activities, yes, of course, we can develop all the qualities that we discuss as Karuna, Mudita, Pekka, and Metta. Okay, so that would be enough. We can continue tomorrow morning and afternoon. So after this session, there would be another sessions regarding, it's not yoga, what is it?
Oh, the Qigong.
Qigong. Even now, I don't know what is it. You have to learn from him. Qigong. After Qigong, we are going to meet again for Q&A. If there is any questions that you need to clarify or discuss more, you can write down and put into that box, which is in Sangha Hall. So then we can take another hour to discuss about the matters and things that you wanted to explain more. Thank you very much.